Greetings everyone, my name is Joniel Martnez and this is my presentation on dopamine and unexpected rewards. I'd like to start off with my personal connection to the topic. My interest in this topic comes from the fact that as somebody with ADHD, my symptoms are linked heavily to the unique way my brain's reward response system works. Dopamine cells. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter at the center of the brain's reward system. Dopaminergic cells/neurons create dopamine and play an important role in motivation. It has been theorized that an increase in dopamine could increase motivation-related emotion, cognition, and even extroversion. Dysfunctional dopamine reactivity has been theoretically linked to approach motivation traits. Dopamine has a wide-reaching influence on the brain and may even influence your personality. The midbrain's role. In the past, it was thought that all dopamine cells functioned in the same way, although recent studies into the midbrain have highlighted variations in characteristics in dopaminergic cells. The part of the midbrain that were studied were the substantia nigra pars compacta and the ventricle tegmental area. These areas play an integral part in responding and anticipating unexpected rewards. Prediction error response. The brain's ability to compare expected and received stimuli is related to the prediction error response. Using brain imaging, we can track and analyze the dopamine-associated pathways. When a subject is emitted from or receives unexpected and expected rewards, we can locate its source. When observing this response, researchers found that dopamine cell activation increases with unexpected rewards and decreases with expected ones. Interestingly enough, this response is the basis of some theories on why humans like comedy. Genetic variation. When tested in mice, dopamine cells in the substantia nigra pars compacta have shown the ability to respond to rewarding and unfavorable stimuli, while also being able to change their firing during movement acceleration. In this part of the brain, researchers identified 3 genetic subtypes that impacted how the mice responded to acceleration, deceleration, negative stimuli, and unexpected rewards. Variation in signals. When measuring the signals given off by the prediction error response, researchers classified 2 types of signals, the early and late signals. PER variation has been found in the late signal, as it's thought to code the subjective motivation value of unexpected rewards. For disinhibited individuals, there are 2 possible sources of dopaminergic dysfunction. Either 1, the individual can be hypervigilant of unexpected rewards, or 2, the individual may overvalue unexpected rewards. It's interesting how our opinions on stimuli can affect how they are received by the brain. Behavior and disorders. In individuals with eating disorders, it's been shown that their eating behavior has altered their brain's reward response. These changes show themselves as learned associations between food and varying amounts of food-related stimuli. In bulimia nervosa, fear-driven food restrictions may collide with a possible trait-related hypo-responsive reward system that predisposes to binge eating, and that behavior then even more decreases reward sensitivity in response to excessive food takes. This is interesting because the process of binge eating and that repeated behavior makes it so that the individual is also less sensitive to the parts of their brain that tells them when they've had enough to eat or when they feel full. Sensitivity in the reward response. The 3 genetic subtypes observed in mice had distinct responses. One of the subtypes had a more positive response to acceleration, while the other 2 preferred decelerations. Within the 2 that preferred decelerations, there was variation in the timing. Further variation was found in the subtype's response to reward adverse stimuli. It's very interesting how even brains within the same species will respond differently due to their genetics. Why is this important? In understanding the types of genetic variation and their influences on the human prediction error response, we can better support individuals with mental and behavioral disorders. With a better understanding of our reward system, we can mitigate the risk of developing eating disorders through treatment. The brain's reward system is very influential in many of the brain's other mechanisms. This could lead to further discoveries about the brain's interconnected and complex functions. Education implications. It can be said that the brain's reward system is at the heart of learning. By creating positive associations with the process of learning, one is motivated to gain knowledge. Since increased dopamine activity has been linked to increased goal-oriented motivation, this is an integral part of human development. In studying this system, we can expend our knowledge on the behaviors and traits that can help or hinder a student's education. Further research could bring to light new strategies for learning and teaching individuals with different types of reward systems. I think that in understanding the reward system, we can understand why certain behavior arises to certain environments. And in that way, we can cater to people who the educational system may struggle to get to nowadays. Room for more research. The findings in these research papers must always be replicated. Replicating these experiments with more EEG sensors and higher detail imaging techniques could provide new insights. For instance, it could more reliably locate where dopamine activity originates. It's still unclear if responding and encoding occur in the same neurons or in separate dopamine neurons. This field is still ever expanding, and greater detailed results is needed before any of these techniques can be put into practice. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. These are the 3 sources I use for all the information in my slides. I hope that the information in this presentation was amusing enough that it created a positive response in your reward system. Thank you very much. Have a great day.